Good afternoon. I almost said good morning, but it feels like morning to me. I'm popping on early today because I'm going to be in rehearsal at 5, so I won't be on the typical time. So surprise, I'm here early to talk about part 6 of how to get through the holidays without the guilt. Today, like I said, is going to be a little bit of a mindset topic, so I can't wait to see what you guys think. And so this is really a topic that can trip a lot of us up, and it can be a big cause for self-sabotage, okay? So self-sabotage in general is probably one of the most common human tendencies there is. We all self-sabotage in some way, and so this is, it can go really, really deep, but obviously in this space, we're going to talk about how it shows up in the holidays, typically through food and things like that, right? So, so the basics of this topic is, well, thinking that we have to do things in order to show love or to be loved, right? That we have to do certain things. And we often do this with food. So how often do you eat something that you don't really want because you don't want to hurt the person's feelings who made it, right? Like if grandma made you your favorite dish from childhood, but you hate it now, you'd probably still eat it because you don't want her to feel bad, right? Or we eat certain things we don't want that take us further from our goals as a way to connect with people, right? Maybe you'd always had Wednesday ice cream date night with your boyfriend, but you really don't want to do that anymore because maybe it's making you gain weight, right? But you continue to do it because it's your way of connecting with him. Or maybe you used to always drink a bunch with a certain family member at holiday parties or something, right? But you're just not into that anymore, like it just doesn't serve you anymore. But you might feel worried about what they'll think about you if you don't act like the same old you, right? You're like, oh gosh, it's one of those things like I can't control it. Oh, he's used to me always getting drunk with him, but I don't want to. Like, oh, God, I'm going to end up doing it anyway, even though I don't want to, because I just don't want to have to deal with that, right? So as humans, we really always just want to be loved and accepted. That's literally all we're ever searching for, is love and acceptance. And sometimes we'll do things we don't really want to do in order to continue to feel loved and accepted. And we worry that if we change ourselves, it might make the other person uncomfortable. And while sometimes that is true, you can't, being totally honest, sometimes that is true. But most of the time, it's not. And either way, it's your life, and it's time to decide what you really want and communicate that with anyone who could potentially keep you feeling held back. So if you know that feeling, if there's something in your brain like, oh yeah, I get it, like I totally do X, Y, or Z because of this, it's time to let that go. So it's time to think of other ways that you can connect and show love to each other with something other than food, right? There's so many other ways to connect that don't have to be foods that you don't really want to be eating. So what can you do for your Wednesday date night instead of ice cream? That would still allow you guys to connect, but might actually take you closer to your goals rather than further away from them. Right? Think outside the box a little bit. Can you find a way to connect with your drunken family member that doesn't involve you drinking more than you want to? Or how can you practice ahead of time telling these people how you feel? How can you practice a way of politely telling grandma, right, or these other people about your goals and why you're making the choices you are, so that they understand you and can fully support you? And instead of thinking like, oh gosh, I'm going to hurt their feelings, or what if this upsets them or makes them uncomfortable? What if you doing this might actually inspire other people to do the same for themselves, right? It might end up being a win-win. So if part of your holiday guilt might be stemming from other people than yourself, it's time for you to decide to either just let that go or make a plan to communicate with them about it. Be prepared with what you'll say. If someone starts pushing food at you, or some things that you don't really want, right? If you want them, fine. If you don't really want them, how can you prepare yourself to say no and feel good about it, right? So once you make that shift, you'll notice a huge weight being lifted from your shoulders, right? What do you guys think? I'm curious if you guys have experienced anything like this, right? Or if this is resonating with you in any way. So let me know in the comments when you guys watch this replay. So thank you for sticking around through this one. I know, like I said, it can go a bit deep, especially for such a short video, but I hope that you were able to get a couple little nuggets out of it. So stay tuned for the final part tomorrow, part 7, which will be all about self-care through the holidays. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day.